The Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein is today expected to hand down judgment in the appeal lodged by Dr Nandipha Magudumana, who's challenging the Free State High Court's decision to dismiss her application to nullify her arrest. She's lodged this application on the basis that she had consented, or not consented, I beg your pardon, to being brought back to the country. She also wants the court to declare her arrest in Tanzania unlawful and invalid, which will lead to the South African criminal courts not having jurisdiction to prosecute her. SABC News Reporter Makgala Masiteng is monitoring the story and joins us now live from inside court in Bloemfontein. And Makgala, there's been such a lot of time since we're back in court for this matter. It's worth helping us trace how we got here.
As you have indicated, Ayanda, it is true, it has been long. We were here back in last year, November, when Dr Nandipha Magudumana came here at the Supreme Court of Appeal, of course, to convince this court to declare her arrest in Tanzania unlawful, of course, putting that application against that judgment of the Free State High Court that was delivered in July back in 2023, which found that Dr Nandipha Magudumana's coming back to South Africa was actually a disguised extradition, but however, it dismissed her application, saying that she actually consented to coming back to South Africa. So as we look back, Ayanda, to that November last year, just looking at how those proceedings went, because there was a bit of a back and forth between the justices and also the senior counsels who were presenting their case here at the Supreme Court of Appeal, where we saw a fierce interrogation from them, of course, questioning this issue of arrest in Tanzania, where we saw, of course, the legal team of Dr Nandipha Magudumana trying to convince this Supreme Court of Appeal that she was arrested in Tanzania by the South African police service. They were arguing that they had no business being in Tanzania back in April 2023, whereas they were there to arrest Dr Nandipha Magudumana. But what some of the justices raised a point where they were saying that they are not convinced that Dr Nandipha Magudumana was arrested by the SAPS in Tanzania. In fact, she was rather arrested by the authorities of Tanzania. But what we saw, their argument premised on, Ayanda, was on that judgment of the Free State High Court, where they said they don't understand why the court would say that her extradition was like her deportation was disguised extradition, but then still dismiss her application. So we will see, of course, that judgment today, where we are expecting a split judgment, where we don't really have a unanimous decision on this one, due to the fact that there was that fierce interrogation, as I have indicated. But some of their argument were the fact that the South African authorities did not follow proper procedures in terms of bringing back Dr Nandipha Magudumana. They were also talking about the difference between the deportation and also extradition, and also arguing that if Dr Nandipha Magudumana was extradited back to South Africa, that process would have taken long, as we have seen in various cases, that extradition processes take long. And they also indicated that if that was a deportation, then she would have been given a prohibited immigration notice, giving her at least few days to leave the country voluntarily, but that did not happen. But we have seen also NPA was adamant to say that Dr Nandipha Magudumana was not arrested by the SAPS in Tanzania. She was arrested there by the authorities there, and the SAPS only effected that arrest on her arrival here in South Africa at Lanseria Airport. And they were also saying that there was no way that the South African authorities will ignore when she was saying that she wanted to come back to South Africa. So we'll see how that judgment goes this morning here at the Supreme Court of Appeal. As you have indicated, of course, this has been rather a long journey from when they were brought back to the country, to them appearing at the magistrate court, and then starting to, of course, challenge this arrest coming from Tanzania.
Absolutely. Part of Nandipha Magudumana's application, also revealing in some instances about the relationship she now shares with Thabo Bester. But as you mentioned, let's wait and see how the court decides today. Makgala Masiteng, live to us there from Bloemfontein.